Today we'll be exploring the full history and evolution of the Casablanca Panama ceiling fan. The Panama ceiling fan is the best-selling fan at Casablanca of all time, and it is still being sold today, and it is Casablanca's longest-running model, starting in 1982. In fact, Casablanca's 1 millionth fan made was the 1983 12002 Panama Gallery Edition. The fan was first designed by Warren E. Dennis, which is also the designer of the Casablanca Century 9000 in mid-1981. In fact, there's a patent for this fan, as you can see here. When the fan was first introduced in 1982, the fan came standard with Stubby Irons, which is the Four Seasons kind, Slumber Quiet, a 5-blade adapter giving it 5 blades from the standard 4-blade only flywheel. The Four Seasons irons also gave the fan a 48-inch span. The fan had an option to have optional Zephyr irons, which also gave the fan a 53-inch span. The finishes were white with antique brass, white with brass, black with antique brass, black with brass, brown with antique brass, and finally, brown with brass. It seems kind of crazy to me that the first year of the Panama, there were no solid color finishes, or even just a solid finish. They were all combinations of painted finishes and brass finishes. In 1983, Casablanca introduced the solid color finishes, which included fully bright brass and fully antique brass. The fan also no longer has the option for the longer Zephyr irons, which gave the fan a 53-inch span. And now the first Gallery Edition model was introduced. It was the 12002 Gallery Edition, which had walnut blades and K4S and flower-cut crystal shades. In 1984, all of the original finishes, except for antique white with brass, were removed from the catalog and discontinued. The fan now has standard irons, giving the fan a 50-inch span. The fan also now has a 5-blade only flywheel specifically for the Panama series. The fan is also now Inteli-Touch. And for 1984, the 12004T Gallery Edition Panama ceiling fan was introduced. The fan is antique brass with walnut blades, a K4S, and flower-cut crystal shades. In 1985, Casablanca introduced 2 new Beveled-Glass Gallery Editions, which included the 12A02T and the 12B02T. Both of these fans use special low-profile switch housings with an LDM, similar to the Victorian Limited series. These fans had a slim switch housing like the post-88 Casablancas. In 1986, Panamas now had a 3-speed option. There were several new finishes including antique white, chrome, brass and copper, and pewter and chrome. Brass and copper and pewter and chrome were part of the Panama Design series, which had 2 Gallery Editions, which is the 12032T and the 12095T. The 2 Gallery Editions, 12A02T and 12B02T Beveled-Glass fans were discontinued already. There's also one more new Gallery Edition, and it is the 12C02T, which is the Panama and the brass finish with slanted glass and the Willamsburg light fixture. In 1987, the fans were converted to RMM2 with flick. There were several new finishes as well, including black chrome with chrome, snow white, glossy black, designer gray, dusty rose, Moroccan sand, and Ferrari red. In 1988, the fans now had a short switch housing, like switch housings on the 1985 Gallery Edition models. The fans have now also been upgraded to RMM2 without flick. The fans are no longer available in the 3-speed option, and there are 2 new Gallery Editions. These include the 12D0211T with the Fabian ceramic light fixture, and the 12E02T with the Fabian 3-light Jazz Hands light kit. In 1989, the fans now had a 4 or 5 blade flywheel. There are also several new finishes, including Verde, Pastel Navajo, Peach Navajo, and White Navajo, and Snow White/Bright Brass. There are also 2 discontinued Gallery Edition models, which is the 12032T and the 12095T, which are the Panama 5 design series. In July 1990, Panamas were available with a prototype Comfort-Touch system. Also, the 12D0211T and 12E02 Gallery Edition Fabian models were discontinued. In 1991, the tags were changed to a newer variant, and Panama 5 fans were officially available in Comfort-Touch. In 1992, there were a bunch of new Home Depot exclusive models, including the 12G2T, which is just the 12C02T for Home Depot, the 12G4T, which is just the 12004T for Home Depot, the exclusive 12G27T, which is a gallery edition of Pastel Navajo with milk glass, and the 12G112T, which is the Snow White with brass and the California Zephyr 4-light kit. In 1993, there were more updates for Home Depot fans. The 12G2T was discontinued, and so was the 12G4T and the 12G112T. And there were several new fans added, which were the 12B2T, the 12B4T, the 12B112T, and the 12B11T, which are basically just unipacked, solid finish Casablanca Panamas. In 1994, many finishes were discontinued, including Ferrari Red, Designer Gray, Dusty Rose, Moroccan Sand, Glossy Black, Chrome, Antique White/Brass, Pastel Navajo, and Peach Navajo. There was also a new tag variant. And also for 1994, there were no more Home Depot fans, and fans now included a W32. Finally, for 1994, Antique White and Antique White and Brass were replaced with Classic White and Classic White with Brass. There were no changes in 1995, but for 1996, Verde was discontinued and several new finishes were added, including Textured Verde, Textured Rust, Champagne, and Dark Browns, and these finishes were Inteli-Touch only. In 1997, 2 new finishes were added, including Washed Bronze and Florentine Verde, and now all finishes were available in Comfort-Touch. Textured Verde was also discontinued. The K55 was also replaced with a new XLP, and the Hang True 2 downrods were replaced with new Permalock downrods. Also, the 12002T, 12004T, and 12C02T Gallery Editions were discontinued, which means there are no more Gallery Editions for the Panama series. In 1999, there were 2 new finishes, including Rustic Iron and Brushed Nickel. However, this was the last year for the Panama 5, so if you ever see a Brushed Nickel Panama 5, that means it is an ultra rare Panama 5 in Brushed Nickel. Textured Rust was discontinued and so was Dark Bronze, and Comfort-Touch was now available in only Brass, Antique Brass, Classic, White, and Snow White. In 2000, the Panama 5 was discontinued and the Panama 2 was introduced. The new Panama had concealed motor housing screws, concealed blade brackets, and a new 15-degree blade pitch, providing more airflow. The 3-speed option was also reintroduced. There were 3 new finishes, including Matte Black, Chrome, and Architectural White. The Classic White/Bright Brass finish was also discontinued. Florentine Verde and Champagne finishes were also discontinued. In 2001, there were several new finishes, including Aged Gold, which is right here, Oil Rub Bronze, and Gilded Silver. And Comfort-Touch was now available in Brushed Nickel, Rustic Iron, Washed Bronze, Architectural White, Oil Rub Bronze, Aged Gold, and Gilded Silver. In 2002, Advanced Touch was introduced for the Panama. It was available in all of the Comfort-Touch finishes except for Aged Gold and Gilded Silver. Snow White and washed bronze now also had a UL damp location rating. Rustic Iron was no longer available for Comfort Touch, and Snow White/Bright Brass was discontinued. In 2002, Comfort Touch was discontinued. IT2 was introduced but never sold, and the chrome finish was also discontinued again. In 2004, the XTR model was introduced. Also, the Mocha finish was introduced, and it was damp location for the XLP model, and it was not available on Advanced Touch models. Gilded silver and aged gold finishes were also discontinued. The XTR motor was available in antique brass, snow white, brushed nickel, architectural white, oil rub bronze, and mocha. In 2005, weathered copper was introduced, but it wasn't available for Advanced Touch. XTR was now available in bright brass, matte black, classic white, Navajo white, rustic iron, and washed bronze. The Panama Halo model was also introduced, and it was available in antique brass, snow white, brushed nickel, architectural white, or bronze. And there were now available BXL blades with 10-degree irons for the XTR models. In 2006, weathered copper was now available for Advanced Touch, and there were no changes in 2007. In 2008, the Panama XLP 4-speed model was introduced. Navajo white and mocha finishes were discontinued. The Panama Damp is now a separate model, and snow white and oil rub bronze were the finishes. And now washed bronze was only for the 4-speed XLP model. In 2009, there were no changes. And in 2010, the XTR model was discontinued. Some new finishes included brushed cocoa and Tuscan bronze. Washed bronze was also discontinued. In 2011, Advanced Touch and Inteli-Touch models were discontinued and replaced with Inteli-Touch 3. Panama Halo models were also no longer available in antique brass and architectural white. The Panama DC and Panama Energy Star models were also introduced. These models are available in snow white, brushed nickel, and brushed cocoa. In 2012, the Panama Halo was discontinued. In 2013, the hunterized Panama Control and Panama Pole Chain models were introduced. These were available in snow white, brushed nickel, aged bronze, brushed cocoa, cottage white, and antique brass. In 2014, there were no changes. In 2015, the Legacy Panama was discontinued, and several new Panama models were introduced, including the Panama XLP and the Panama Gallery. And the XLP was available in cottage white, maiden bronze, snow white, and brushed nickel. The Gallery was available in architectural white, antique pewter, maiden bronze, and bright brass. The Panama DC model was also modernized. There were no changes in 2016. However, in 2017, the Panama XLP and Panama Gallery were discontinued. In 2022, the Panama Control and Panama Pole Chain models were discontinued because of the discontinuation of custom Casablanca. The Panama Sun was also introduced, and so was the Panama model. And these models now featured a brand new canopy. And finally, in 2024, the Panama Sun was discontinued. I really hope you've enjoyed this video on history of the Casablanca Panama ceiling fan. If there's anything I got wrong, or if there's any special models or anything I need to add, please let me know down in the comments. So if you watched this far already, please subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, and do all of that. Thanks for watching. Bye!